Happy New Year, Potato. Happy Meow Year. Okay. Happy Meow Year. All right, let's see. Hmm. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Phoebe. Hello, Lillian. Hello, Saab. Hello, Rohi. Hello, Mahmoud. Hello, Ayub. And Lipsy and Tien. Hello. How is everyone? You want to learn an instrument? Well, then pick one and start. Best advice I can give you if you want to start learning a musical instrument is to start. The great thing about learning a musical instrument is you don't have to be great. You just have to like it. You don't have to be amazing. You just have to enjoy it. That's the thing that's great about, if you play sports, you feel like you can't really play sports unless you're pretty good, right? At some point, you feel like if you're not good at it, you shouldn't do it. But the truth is, with music, you don't have to be like that. With music, you can just play to enjoy it, and you don't have to be a master, you know? So that's makes a big difference. And hello, Ayub. I'm fine. Can I speak English? Well, yeah. I'm an English teacher. And yes, Lipsy, I have a lot of followers. You don't know which to pick? Electric guitar, bass, or drums? Any one is fine. Piano is good too. I think those are four good instruments to try. Piano, I think, is one of the best instruments to learn for any instrument. Like, I also play some piano. I started on piano, right? So I'm a drummer, but I actually did start on piano. I have a little keyboard right here in front of me, and there's another piano right over there. Piano is a really great way to learn about how music works with every instrument. And if you learn piano for a year or two, what you learn on piano will be valuable to you on any other instrument. So you can switch to the bass, and everything you learned on piano will help you. You can switch to guitar, and everything you learned on piano will help you. So piano is a good one to think about. But, any of those are really good. Electric guitar is fun. Bass is fun. Drums are fun. But your hand is small and your fingers are difficult to open very long. Well, you'd be surprised, Phoebe. I want you to do a search online for a guy named Michael Petrucciani. Let me make sure I'm spelling his name right. Petrucci, CCI, two C's. Petrucciani, one N. Michael Petrucciani is a famous jazz pianist. Actually, here, let me do this. So there's a famous jazz pianist. He died, but his name is Michael Petrucciani. Let me show you now. If he can play, then you can play.
It's not crafty. It's your craft.
Okay, let's see. Are you ready?
It's not DIY.
Here we go.
There's a composer I love, as well as Duke Ellington, and he wrote a very famous song. Even though it's not really the time to play it.
The audio sounds funny, but let's see. So pay attention to what does he look like. He can't even touch the pedals. They have to make a special piano for him so he can touch the pedals. You guys can hear it, right? I hope. Anyway, so he is a brilliant pianist, and he has a disability, clearly, but that didn't stop him from playing piano. And look, his hands are very small. Brilliant, brilliant jazz pianist. So, I mean, look at that. Look how fast his hands are. Anyway, yeah. So, Michael Petrucciani, great jazz pianist. And he didn't let his disability or his small hands stop him. So you shouldn't let your small hands stop you. Hello, Neon Man. Hey, Bellin. Neon Man says, why do hood people speak different from other Americans? Okay, well, we don't call them hood people, first of all, okay? I know what you mean, and what you're talking about is basically an accent, okay? So there are many different accents, right? And one of the accents is what we call an Ebonic dialect. Okay, it's a dialect more than an accent, but kind of close, half and half. Okay? And within the inner city community, particularly the black community, but not just the black community, there are some people who do speak in a way that is a little bit more localized. But the same thing happens when you go to Kentucky. If you go to the middle of Kentucky in the hills and you talk to the people there, they also don't talk like other Americans. They also have a localized dialect and speech and accent that might be hard for you to understand. So, speech changes for many reasons. Accents change for many reasons. There are regional reasons why it happens. There are cultural reasons why it happens. There are pop culture reasons why it happens. But they don't, when you say they all speak different, they don't all speak that way. So, yeah. Anyway. They have a different dialect. It's more of a dialect, not an accent. Okay? Hello, Gunter. The blizzard has subsided largely. We still have a lot of snow, but the roads are mostly clear, and it's cold, and there's a lot of snow on the ground. But other than that, it's, no big deal. I cleared the snow out of the driveway. So, yeah, everything's fine. Leo says, accent is not the problem. The only problem is how to learn persistence in the learning process. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, Leo, but I do agree that having a persistent and consistent method of learning is important to learn anything well. Yeah. You've tried ukulele, but you find it's difficult to get chords. You don't know if you should choose bass guitar or choose drums, which don't need. Well, bass guitar doesn't usually have chords. You're right about that. But you do still have to press one finger up against the string, on the fret. But drums is fun too. Drums is fun too. But really, Phoebe, if you had some time, I could show you a dozen or 100 videos of people who have small hands and play piano amazingly. I could show you people who don't have an arm and they play drums amazingly. I could show you people who, there's so many people with many, many, many disabilities who play instruments brilliantly. So I think it's important to try not to limit yourself when you don't actually have a disability. You just have small hands. Right? And there have been many, many, many musicians that have small hands who have played guitar, bass, drums, piano, everything. Okay? So don't let that stop you. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? And hello over in YouTube. Hello to Karen from Uruguay and Miguel. Hello, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. Happy New Year to you. I hope you're doing well down in New Orleans. And hello, Yuri. Rohe wants to know, is it good to talk rude when another person isn't giving you respect, even though you are giving respect and thinking he is older than you? Well, that's a complicated question. I think in general, the best choice that you can make when you encounter someone who is not giving you respect is just to walk away. You know, don't disrespect them. Just don't engage with them. You know? The way you introduce yourself is like a key. Some people have a key that opens many, many doors. Some people have a key that doesn't open any. So, yeah. Hello, Gung. Hello, Vanshika. And Keshav. I'm fine. How are you? Hello, USA Cats. Hola, hola. Okay, welcome to my live stream, everybody. Wow, there's 80 people here already. That was quick. My name is Teacher Mark. What's up? I'm a teacher. If you have questions about English and you want to ask me, then you can type your questions in the chat and I will try to help you. If you want to raise your hand and talk to me, you can. But please wait a little bit because I try to help as many people as I can in the chat first. All right. Now, if you're running out of time, if you're on Hello Talk and you're on a time limit and you're running out of time, well, guess what? You can just go join my YouTube channel and I'm on YouTube right now. This Hello Talk live stream is also on YouTube, so there's no time limit on YouTube. You can join there now. And it's about 20 seconds. It's about 20 seconds or 30 seconds delayed, but it's live. Okay? All right. And hello, Maru. Hello, Asafur. Hello, Jamila. I'm taking all English questions. If you have questions about English, you can ask me, or questions about culture, American culture, Western culture. Hello, Neil. Hello, SK. Neon Man, I kind of feel like your questions are a little off color. So I would rather, there are some children who watch me, okay, Neon Man. So there are some parents around the world who want their children to watch me to learn English. So I'd rather not talk about questions like that, all right? You can send me a message privately, and perhaps I will send you a reply about those types of questions, but not here, okay? This is a family show. Yes, I am a teacher. Siraj wants to know, how do you pronounce the word comfortable? There are two acceptable pronunciations for the word comfortable. Some people say comfortable and some people say comfortable. Both are fine. No one cares. Unfortunately, you can't use YouTube in China. Well, 你可以，如果你用很特别的魔法，你可以用 YouTube 在中国，你可以。可是没关系啊，因为你可以用 Hello Talk 在中国，中国人他们可以看我在 Hello Talk， 所以你不需要 YouTube， 对不对？ Can I use do with the past like I do talked to him? Definitely not like that. No, let me try to think if there's any form of do in the past that could work. I can only think of it, well, kind of in question format, but I'm gonna just take a leap and say no, Gunter. I think if you want to use it in simple past, most of the time it needs to be in its simple past form, which is did. Okay? Hello, Grace. Hello, Sumathi from Tamil Nadu. If you come to America, I would love to meet, sure. What about Gilmore Girls for Learning English? Is it a good show? I'm not real familiar with the show. I know it's a pretty family-friendly show, and I know it's a show that deals about mostly family topics, like families and friends and work and life, and, you know, and it's pretty clean, right? It's a nice show that doesn't have dirty topics or anything like that, right? So in that sense, I do think it's probably a pretty good show for learning English. The English is probably pretty good, and the topics are probably pretty relevant and useful. Please be patient, because I have many people asking me questions. Can you teach me how to be successful like you? Leo, success is in the eye of the beholder, and success is a mythical place that doesn't really exist. Success is kind of like the word fluent. It's a thing that you imagine exists, like it's a place that you can reach where when you get there, you're done working, or you don't need to achieve anything anymore. You're already at the top of the mountain. But that's just not how life works. To learn a language, you learn it forever. To be successful, you work at it forever, right? So, success is like riding a bike. You first have to learn how to ride, and that takes some falling down. And eventually you have to achieve balance, right? And momentum. And if you achieve balance and momentum, can you stop pedaling? No, you have to keep pedaling or you're going to fall down. That's life. That's success. Success is a bike ride. If you stop pedaling, you fall down. No problem, Neon Man. Just message me if you have questions that are a little bit off color. Maybe I'll reply to them privately. Hello, Dija. How can you improve your speaking alone? Because you're a shy person. I can talk with others easily. However, I have a vocabulary. What's the problem with your vocabulary, Dija? I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. What's the difference between sucks and awful? Nothing. Something that sucks is something that is awful. I think awful is a word that I would use more often for things like this food is awful or that movie was awful. But, well, no, I think they're interchangeable in most cases. In most cases, I think you could use either one and they're fine. Tell you about medicine after 65 years in the USA. What do you mean? You want me to tell you about the last 65 years of medical history in the United States? How can you improve English hearing and oral English? So, before I forget, this other person who had the question, Dija, you're trying to practice speaking alone, and yes, that's difficult. You do need to try to practice speaking with people as much as you can. But pay attention. Look at me. Hi. Did you know that you have a language practice room right now with you everywhere you go? You have this beautiful room. It's a language practice room where you can play with language and imagine words and sentences and imagine trying to say things. Did you know that you have that with you at all times? You do. Your mind is a language practice room. You can practice language anytime you want, anywhere you want. Let me ask you a question. If you go to the moon, what language should you speak or practice? If you go to the moon, what language should you speak or practice? What language should you think in? What language do they speak there? Yeah, moon language, right? They don't have one. So that means that location has nothing to do with language. Thought is what has to do with language. So, if you want to practice, if I went to go live on the moon, could I still practice Chinese? I could, even if there's no Chinese people up there. Right? So, practice your language in your mind. It doesn't matter where you live. You just have to spend a whole lot more time practicing in your mind. Imagine it in your mind. If you can make it happen up here, you can make it happen with your mouth. Okay? All right. My YouTube channel is right here. And again, please be patient. There are many comments and questions that I didn't answer yet. Let me try to catch up. Let's see. How to improve English hearing and oral English. You can try this website, esl-lab.com. This is a website for improving English listening. They have many, many, many recordings of conversations that you can practice. There's also another one you can try, eslfast.com. This one is mostly for reading practice, but they also have a recording of every one of the short stories, right? They have about 3,000 short stories on eslfast.com. And they all have a recording of someone reading for you, right? So you can use both of those websites to help improve your listening. Okay? All right. My YouTube channel is right here. Please be patient. Do I have a band or account for... I do have a band. What is the... Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me check something. Wang Yiyun. 我不知道这个是什么。我觉得我没有。我觉得这是中国的cloud music cloud， 就是音乐云吗？我不知道。Okay, what is the big misconception about English? The big misconception about English is... The big misconception about English is that English is one language. English is actually a bunch of languages put together, and that's why it's complicated. Hello, Souza. How can you learn English well? That's a big question, man. How can I learn Chinese well? 熟能生巧。每天你需要练习。很多，如果你做这个，你可以啊。Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man was from Cincinnati. Indeed, he was. Yeah, there are a good number of celebrities from this area. What is the meaning of yelling? To yell, Shreya, means to use your voice very, very loudly, right? So when people have arguments, they often yell, right? They get loud and they yell at each other, right? Or if you're very far away and you can't hear me, then maybe I will yell to you, okay? Okay, hello to all the new people. I'm teaching about English. Siraj, the pronunciation of the word is rendezvous, and you want me to make it make sense? The reason why it's pronounced that way is because the word rendezvous is actually not an English word, it's a French word. This is what I'm talking about. When I said English is a combination of many languages, French is one of the languages that's most important to the background of English. And the word rendezvous comes from French. Let's look up the word. Wait one moment. Rendezvous. Let's see. So it comes from the word rendez, R-E-N-D-E-Z in French, it means to present yourself, okay? Or to present something. And the word vous means you. So rendezvous means where will we present ourselves to meet? Where will we present each other? Where will we meet each other? Right? That's what it means, right? So it's a French word. And the pronunciation is based on French pronunciation, not English pronunciation. And there are many words like that. Like the word cafe is also French, okay? %30 of English words come from French. Hello, hello, hello to all the new people. Oh, it's a Chinese music app. No, I'm not familiar with it, and I'm not on there. Maybe you can send me a message and tell me about it. Can you learn English during epilepsy? You mean if you have epilepsy, can you still learn English? Sure, of course. Epilepsy doesn't prevent people from learning usually. I can't imagine why it would. Where's my friend Clay? He's not here today because 2 days ago we had a huge snowstorm. And so we have about this much snow outside on the ground right now. And so it was too hard for him to drive over here today. He's going to try to come on Friday. It's a music player app and software. Okay. Zara, I am an English teacher and a musician. I sound like people from Taiwan. Tina, 这是因为2020no sorry 不好意思2016到2020我住在台湾，这是为什么我有台湾的发音。Can I introduce the way that I learned to practice Chinese? Yeah, that's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you that, okay, everybody who's not Chinese, just wait 1 second. 如果你要说英文，第一次你需要想英文，所以每天你天天需要想。这个是什么？这个是什么？这个叫什么？这个叫什么？如果我要做这个，我可以说什么？我需要说什么？每天你需要想一想，想一想，想一想，这个是什么？这个是什么？这个是什么？这是如果我做，我可以想 中文。有时候我觉得我的中文一点奇怪，可是如果你听得懂我说什么，这是 OK。听得懂吗？So what I just told them is, what do I do to practice my Chinese? I think in Chinese every day. I live in the United States. But I just look around my room and I say, how do I say that? How do I say this? How do I say that in Chinese? How do I say that in Chinese? Can I say that in Chinese? Do I know how to say this in Chinese? I do that all day. Right? Now, sometimes I don't know if the way I'm thinking is exactly correct or not. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know if the grammar is exactly right, or maybe my pronunciation might be a little off. But in general, it's about 80% good. It's good enough that most people can understand me without a problem. And if you notice, when I speak, does it look like I need to take a lot of time to think about what I say first? No, I don't need to take time to think about what I want to say because I learned how to think in Chinese. If you learn how to think in the language you're studying, then you can bypass the translation part, and now you can speak much more fluidly. Right? So if you have to translate everything first in your head, it's slow. It takes too long. But if you learn how to start thinking in that language, then whatever you think, you can throw it out of your mouth quickly. Okay? So that's what I do, is I just spend my day, and I often have to say, 这个中文说什么？我不知道。You know, how do I say that in Chinese? I don't know. And then I'll have to think about it and figure it out. That's my homework, right? So I'm doing homework all day, but my homework is thinking homework. Okay? Okay, I see there are many people who want to talk to me, but you have to have a question if you want to talk to me. Okay, so make sure you have a question if you want to talk to me. Okay, good Lord, I have too many comments. Okay, so hello, Tanya. Hello, Victor. How do you say when something is almost done? Right, yeah. Can I tell you about human kindness? Oh, wow. Charisma. That's a deep question. Let me think for a moment. Human kindness is kind of like rare gems, you know, like diamonds or gold or something that you have to dig for in the ground. Unfortunately, the majority of human behavior is dirt. It's not good. It's not nice. There's a lot of dirt in the world. There's a lot of bad behavior, not nice, uncompassionate behavior, right? But if you dig, you can find some diamonds. That's human kindness. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Hello, Daniel. Yes, long time to see. What is deja vu and nostalgia? Are they the same or different? Deja vu and nostalgia are similar but different. Deja vu is a French word, again, and it's a feeling that you've already been here before, right? Sometimes we get that feeling like when you walk into a room and suddenly you feel like, wait a minute, have I dreamed this before or what? Because I feel like I've already done this scene. You know, it might just be 3 seconds of your life that just feels like, oh, wait a minute, I already know this room. I've seen this before. That's deja vu. Nostalgia is a feeling that you miss the old days. You miss the days when you were a boy or a girl and you could run around and play. And you miss the days when things were cheap and it was nice and easy to do this. And you miss the days when we didn't have phones and we could, talk to each other, whatever. That's nostalgia. If you miss the old days, that's nostalgia. Okay? All right. Good Lord, I'm really struggling to keep up today. Hello, Sarika. You heard from someone, they said learning a language is one of the unskilled things on the earth? What? I don't know what that means. Learning languages is an unskilled thing? No, that's not true. It takes skill to learn any language. How to order in the hotel or bank in English. Ayub, have you searched online for that? Because if you search online for that, if you type this in, Ayub. ESL dialogues, bank and hotel. Do a search on Google for this. And I'm pretty sure you'll find some websites that will give you exactly that. Okay? And yes, what is the function of me wearing the headset? It's for me to hear my own voice. Because, well, earlier I was playing a video on YouTube and I wanted to make sure I could check the sound, right? But I do like to hear my own voice to make sure I can check the quality of the sound. I have this nice microphone and the nice studio equipment. So, yeah, I like to hear my own voice when I'm teaching to make sure it sounds good. And sometimes I'll bring somebody on stage, and that's the only way I can hear them is if I have headphones on. Okay? What music do I play? All kinds. Rock, jazz, blues, funk, Latin, pop, whatever. I like all kinds of music. Chinese grammar is easier than other languages, which is one reason why it's easier to think in Chinese. But that doesn't mean you can't do it in English. It just means you have to apply a little bit more grammar when you think in English. Okay? But still, grammar is not the most important part of language. Expression and communication is, or are. So focus on expressing yourself and communicating, and not necessarily on perfection of grammar. Okay? All right. Why am I learning Chinese? Well, I did live in Taiwan for 4 years. You are welcome. Still trying to catch up with the comments. All right, Julia wants to know how to think in English. Give me 1 second and I'll try to explain that. Let me catch up with a couple more comments. Siraj, that's a deep question. I don't know how to answer that one. When you're looking at Chinese Hanzi, you know how to pronounce it. Okay, that's good. That's a good start. Yeah, my reading still sucks, Daniel. I don't practice reading as often as I should. Hello, Ornella. Good to see you. Buon anno. Hello, Mona. How to not be shy? Well, that's a good question Romilla has. Romilla, I like your question because shyness is not helpful. It doesn't benefit you in any way in life. Shyness is always something that's preventing you from getting an opportunity, right? So shyness is something that we as a society, we tend to accept shyness as a normal quality in people, right? Oh, she's just shy, or oh, he's just shy. But the truth is that's not a good thing. When you tell a child, oh, you're just shy or whatever, when somebody told you that you're just a shy person, I don't think that's helping you. You need to learn how to get past that, right? So, Ramila, what I would tell you is that you have to think about being a musician, being a performer on stage. Are there no performers who are shy? Are there no musicians who are shy? No, of course, some musicians, some performers are shy people, but they have to get on stage and perform, right? So they have to learn how to take their shyness and put it in a box and put it away for a little while, because it's not helping you right now. So that's what you need to learn how to do, Romila, is you need to learn how to take your shyness, put it in a box, and put it away for a little while, okay? But shyness is like a tunnel, okay? When you first walk into the tunnel, it's very dark and scary. You can't see anything. You're scared to move forward. But you move forward a little bit and you're still scared. But you see a little tiny, tiny dot of light way down at the end. And if you walk a little further, that light gets a little bit bigger. And if you walk a little further, that light gets a little bit bigger. And if you walk a little further, that light gets a little bit bigger. And each time that light gets bigger, you're not so scared. And eventually you get to the other side of the tunnel. And you're out. And you did it. So get on stage, go through the tunnel. What does seraphic mean? Seraphic is a very rare word. It means like a seraph, and a seraph is kind of like an angel, kind of. Hello, David. You feel so depressed to learn English, especially writing? Well, then change the way you learn. If your learning is boring you and your learning is not enjoyable, what are you doing to make it better? What are you doing to make it enjoyable? Learning doesn't have to be painful the entire time. Learning doesn't have to be dry and boring. Okay, I guess I'm not going to be able to catch up with the comments. There's just too many today. I have 147 people here, and they're all asking me questions. So I'm doing the best I can, everybody. Books for IELTS prep, Ahad. There are 3 companies I like. They are Kaplan. If you get books from any of these companies, Kaplan, Barron's, or Cambridge, they all make great books for studying for the IELTS test, okay? Any one of those companies. Okay. You love Michael Jackson? Well, who doesn't? Hello, a lady. Can I play a bit of my music to entertain you? Leo, if you go to... you can go to... Well, you can't go to my YouTube, but you can go... Let me think. Where can you go to hear my music? I don't know. If you can't see it on YouTube, then I'm not sure what you're going to do in China. But I'm not set up to play right now today. I don't have my equipment set up for performing today. I don't play guitar, I play drums. Why did I live in Taiwan? I was teaching English in Taiwan. Your writing is bad because of your physiology. Okay. What's the difference between shy and introverted? 我觉得有时候就是一样的意思，有时候就是差不多的意思。I think introverted is just the formal way to say shy. It's kind of like the scientific way to say shy. Okay? And yes, you need to surpass your shyness. Your mind gets messed up. You study etymology, but you forget it within a week. Well, I don't know how that's possible. If you're studying etymology and you're forgetting within a week, then you're not finding the interesting stuff. If you find the interesting stuff, then it'll stay in your head. Sarah, you're a beginner. You just started learning English. You know lots of words, but your problem is speaking. You don't speak. What can you do? Sarah, look at me. Speak, Sarah, speak. Just start speaking, right? So you can start by watching TV by yourself and talking about it when you're watching TV, right? So if you're watching a show, oh, he's so funny, or I can't believe he did that, or he's not nice, or I don't like him, or she's cute, or he's handsome, whatever. Just watch and start talking and use your English by yourself, okay? You can talk to the mirror. You can talk to your dog. You can talk to your cat. You can talk to the wall. Talk to the TV, okay? Hello to all the new people. And, okay, Julia, how can you think in English? Okay, let me try to give you a quick version of this. Okay, so there are 4 steps to learning how to think in English. First, you need to understand, when you learn a new language, every language you learn is a baby in your mind, okay? So it's basically like a new personality, a new mind, okay? And how does a baby's language improve? How does a baby's language grow? They use it, right? The more they use it, the more it grows, right? So the same thing is true with learning how to think in a new language. First, you have to start with baby English. Baby English. What do babies think about? They think about how they feel. I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm sad, I'm hungry. They think about what they want. I want this, I don't want that. They think about what they like. I like this, I don't like that. They think about what they need. I need this, I don't need that. That's it. That's all babies think about. That's all babies think about. That's easy. And there's no grammar. Babies don't care about grammar. Babies don't know grammar. So step 1 is baby English. Can you think all the simple thoughts in English? And if you can think all the simple thoughts in English, why aren't you? Because you're not. When you're hot, you're thinking I'm hot in your native language. When you're tired, you're thinking you're tired in your native language. When you're sad, you're thinking you're sad in your native language. Stop. Change that. Start thinking all your simple thoughts in English. Okay? That's step 1, baby English. Step 2 is elementary school level English. Elementary school level kids, that age, they ask a lot of questions. Who's that? What are we doing? Where are we going? When do we start? When do we go home? Why are we doing this? How can I do it? Who, what, when, where, why, how? Who, what, when, where, why, how? If you teach elementary school kids, that's what they do all day. They ask you questions. Who? What, where, when? So you should do the same thing in the language you're learning. If you're learning English, then I want you to think about English questions, as many of them as you can. So if you are at the grocery store, I want you to think, who is at the grocery store? I see him, I see my friend, I see the boss, I see my neighbor. What does the grocery store have? They have milk, they have cheese, they have bread, they have fish. Where is the grocery store? Oh, it's down the street and to the right. When does the grocery store open? When does it close? Why do people go to grocery stores? Oh, they need to buy things, right? So that's step 2. Elementary school level English is all about asking questions and answering questions, right? So all day you should spend time thinking about English questions and try to answer them. That's still simple grammar. That's still very simple grammar, okay? That's not difficult grammar. Step 3 is identity level English. Identity level English means you need to ask yourself a question. Can I think about my family in English? If I needed to think about my family completely in English, can I? Can I think about my parents? Where are they from? What do they do? How old are they? What do they like to do for fun? Do I have any brothers and sisters? Where do they live? How old are they? What do they like to do for fun? Do I have any uncles or aunts? Grandma, grandpa? What do they do? Where do they live? What about your friends? Can you think about your friends in English? Who's your best friend? Where did you meet? How old are they? Why do you like them? What about your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? Can you think about that in English? If you like cooking, can you think about cooking in English? If you like reading, can you think about reading in English? If you like gardening, can you think about gardening in English? Okay? So identity level English is talking about things like simple topics, like your family, your friends, your hobbies, your interests, your goals, your dreams, your past, your present, your future, your travels. Those are identity level topics. Okay? Then finally, we have step 4. Step 4 is advanced topics like economics and politics and religion and philosophy, and that's really hard stuff. So really, I don't want you to think about step 4 at all. I want you to think about step 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Step 1, baby English. Step 2, elementary school level English. Step 3, identity level English. All right, there you go, Julia. Yeah. Okay, good God. I'm running out of breath. Learning should also be a little bit fun and motivating, or you can't get to your goal. I agree, Ornella, yeah. Although be careful, Ornella, the word fun and funny are different words. This is a very common mistake in Chinese. Funny means ha 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 ha. Oh, that's so funny. Fun means, oh, yay, this is really enjoyable. So if something is very enjoyable, you say it's fun. If something makes you laugh, you say it's funny. And yes, something can be both fun and funny at the same time. Okay? Yes, I am a teacher. Good night, Jenny. My YouTube is here. Thank you, Mona. That's a nice comment. What TV shows do I recommend for studying English? I don't really have a list. Izintin. What I will tell you is you should choose a TV show that has good topics that are relevant topics, right? So I like sci-fi movies and sci-fi TV shows, but sometimes those TV shows are not a good one. That's not a good choice for learning English, because if they're talking about, you know, space travel and aliens, maybe that's not so useful for you, right? But if they're talking about, you know, family and boyfriends and girlfriends and dating and work and life and friends, then that's probably a good topic. Okay? Oh, please be patient, everyone. I'm doing my best. Can I tell you about my favorite music at the moment? Oh, wow, hard question. Mona, I have not really been listening to much recently, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's funny you ask that question, because I didn't realize that I haven't really been listening to music at all recently, so I haven't been inspired by anything new recently, Mona. I'm going to fix that, though, now that you've pointed it out to me. Do I think ChatGPT is a good way to practice English? I do. Yes, use it. Hello, Nair, Rico. Hello, Ramadan. Tell you about some explosive and extraordinary shows, podcasts, or any platform? Well, I don't know what you mean by explosive or extraordinary. Go to npr.org and you'll find some good podcasts, or TED.com. TED.com, TED.com, TED Talks. Hello, Oxy, sorry. Uh, um, Speaking in Chinese is simpler to you than writing. Well, of course it is. David, yeah. Or, I'm sorry, Daniel. Writing Chinese is what makes Chinese hard. You know, if you skip writing, it's not that bad. Yeah, typing is not that bad. You know, if you can learn Pinyin, you're okay. Okay. Baby level English is simple thoughts, Neil. How do you feel? I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm sad, I'm hungry. What do you want? I want to go to the park. I want to watch TV. I want to eat breakfast. I don't want to eat broccoli. You know, I like this, I don't like that. I like chocolate, I don't like broccoli. Whatever. I do like broccoli. You know, simple things like that, okay? Thank you, Catherine. And yes, Ramila has it well summarized for me right there. Hello, Flavia. Good to see you. Thank you, Zoe. Book recommendations, no grammar books, please. Well, what kind of book recommendations do you want then, Sammy? What kind of books do you like to read? Mystery, nonfiction, fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, romance. What do you like to read? Ramadan, please don't promote channels that are not mine here. This is not a channel for you to promote your stuff. This is my web stream. This is my live stream. This is... You don't get to promote your stuff on my channel. That's not how it works, okay? Oh, that's a Stranger Things? Is that a Stranger Things channel? Can you see Stranger Things without paying for it? Well, that's interesting. Okay, sorry, I thought you were promoting your own channel, but still, I don't know if that's... I can't verify that. Good night, Freya. Breaking Bad, Stranger Things. Okay, so Ramadan, I would say Breaking Bad and Stranger Things are both good shows, and they're two of my favorites. I would not necessarily say those are great TV shows for learning English. One, they're a little bit advanced. Two, the content is not as useful as it could be. Okay? Breaking Bad is about drug dealing and stuff like that, so it has a lot of stuff that's not very useful, right? But they do have a lot of good speakers on that show, and a lot of some of the language is very common, normal, good language to learn. Stranger Things, great show, but it's sci-fi. Again, some of the stuff in the show maybe not as useful as you could if you watched another show. Okay? But how to make thinking in English as a habit if your environment is not English? Well, make it a habit. So start with things like when you wake up in the morning. Waking up in the morning, what do? You brush your teeth, you get ready, right? Take that time, make that English time, right? Turn all of your regular moments, your daily moments, into English moments. So every day you wake up and you brush your teeth and you get ready and you get dressed and you get showered or whatever, right? Now that's all in English. If you want to brush your teeth, you must brush your teeth in English. If you want to shower, you must shower in English. When you eat breakfast, when you eat lunch, when you eat dinner, that's English time now. Okay, when you sit down to watch TV, that's English time now. Okay? Make it a habit. I'm drinking coffee, iced coffee. Should you focus on accent? No, you should focus on clarity. As long as it's clear, it doesn't matter what accent you have. Do I think I can improve my English through IELTS presentations books? Yes, you can. Good night, Tina. When you ask this question, you don't say anything at the moment. I'm sorry, Mona. I don't have anything new, Mona. I just don't. I'm a little bit. One, I'm a little bit picky and hard to please, and two, I'm a little bit disillusioned with the modern music industry, so I don't spend a lot of time listening to a lot of new stuff because I'm usually disappointed. Yeah, Greenland. Who knows what's coming next, Bellin? I learned Chinese in Taiwan. They don't use pinyin. You're right. But I started learning Chinese before I went to Taiwan. And to be honest with you, I think pinyin is a better system for Westerners to learn than Juyin. Juyin is cool, but I personally think that pinyin is a better system for Western learners because it's easier for us to try to understand the pronunciation, right? Because it's based on Romanized alphabet. Yes, broccoli is tasty. So many comments. Do I have any online free lessons? So you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch my YouTube videos, which there are many, 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 just like this one. If you watch them, I answer hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions, probably thousands of questions about grammar, about vocabulary, about pronunciation, about reading, about writing, about listening, about speaking, about thinking, about everything. Go to my YouTube channel. You can watch and learn, okay? If you want free lessons, that's it. This is the free part right now. This is free. If you want more than that, you got to pay me. You got to pay me. You like Friends, Suits, and Sense8. I think Friends and Suits are both good. I'm not familiar with Sense8, but I think I remember you mentioning it before. World War Z is a good movie. It's a good movie, but I don't think it's necessarily a great pick for learning English, but it's a great movie. Okay. It's hard to answer so many questions. You can only type in such a way? Yeah, but if you can type like that, then it will prompt the characters for you. 我喜欢说中文和英文. Okay. You can type that and it will bring up the Hanzi and you don't have to try too hard. Modern Family is a pretty good show. I think it's a pretty good show. My only big problem with Modern Family is I think they speak too fast on that show. I think they speak too fast. The Simpsons is a great show, but it's a cartoon. And because it's a cartoon, you can't see their lips, and that means it's not as valuable for your pronunciation, okay? Cartoons are great. The content of The Simpsons is great content. And the funny voices, cartoon voices are funny sometimes, right? Maybe the funny voices are not as useful for learning an accent, right? Kamlesh, follow my YouTube channel, start watching. You'll get lots and lots of tips. Oh, good Lord. Why are American films, dramas, and series often filthy? Well, because AB, life is often filthy. If you grow up and you don't realize that, I'm sorry, but the world is a kind of a dirty place. Okay? And because the oldest story in the world, sex sells, violence sells, right? If you make a movie that's, documentaries are great, but they're not very exciting usually. Right? They're informative, but not very exciting. Okay? People want excitement. People want that stuff. They want to see something that challenges their viewpoints in life. They want to see things that, you're not going to go buy a ticket. You're not going to go see it unless there's something to see. Right? So, why do people watch the train when it crashes? Human behavior. Human behavior. I do think Friends is a good show. Friends is a good show for learning English. it is actually the most popular show in the world for learning English. How to improve your oral English. That depends on what the problem is, Silas. When you listen to English, it's too easy or too hard for you. Why can't you find some sources in the middle? In that case, Ramila, AI might be your best choice. You can use something like ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, please give me an article that is written at a 7th or 8th grade level, or a high school level, or a college level. You can tell it to make it easier. Rewrite it, please, but make the language a little more simple. Rewrite it, please, but make the vocabulary more difficult. You can ask ChatGPT to write articles for you about various topics. Okay, choose a topic like geography or culture or music, and then have it write an article about that, and then ask it to give you the right level that you want. Okay? Can I recommend recruitment companies? I don't know any. No, sorry, Oxy. I love Led Zeppelin. Love Led Zeppelin. I grew up playing all that stuff. A lot of people don't care about discipline and dedication. I agree with that, Teacher Saeed. Yeah. But that's why we respect people who have discipline and dedication. Because if discipline and dedication were common, then we wouldn't value it. We wouldn't respect it. Right? So it's kind of a paradox, right? You want everybody to be disciplined and dedicated. But the truth is, if everybody were, you wouldn't value it because you wouldn't even notice. Right? It's like Rod Serling says, being just like everybody is the same as being nobody. It's kind of like that. Okay. Can I sing a song? No. Sorry. It's too cold. I'm not a singer. My voice is not good today. Sorry. Ramadan says, try to learn English in ways like video games and movies. Yeah, so here's the answer, right? If you ask me what's the best way to learn English, I know what you want me to say. You want me to say, oh, well, the best way is watching TV or with movies or with books. The answer is, and you don't like this answer, but this is the answer. The best way to learn English, or the best way to learn anything, is every possible way that you can learn it. So if you want to learn English, is it good to have a book? Yeah. Is it good to have videos? Yeah. Is it good to have apps? Yeah. Is it good to have friends? Yeah. Is it good to have tutors? Yeah. Is it good to have live streams and podcasts and YouTube and friends and family? And yeah, get it all. The best way to learn is every way to learn. Okay, let me say that to you one more time. The best way to learn is every way to learn. My YouTube channel is right here. Okay. How can you get courses from me? Well, you can go to my website. If you go to my website, you can sign up for the lessons, or you can send me a private message in Hello Talk, and I will talk to you about private lessons. It's not free, though. It's not free. Teaching is a job, right? Someone has to get paid. That someone is me. Hello, Helen. Long time no see. Samallah. Can you watch my videos with no basic knowledge of English? Robin, 如果你还没学英文，你没有 你没有学英文，我觉得我的电影有一点困难。可是很多中国人他们，我觉得大概学有一点学英文，right? Like you studied a little bit, maybe when you were in school a long time ago, right? So maybe you can understand some of my videos. Okay? What am I talking about? I'm answering questions about English mostly. Thank you, Sheldon. Okay, guys, don't ask questions like, how can I improve my English? How can I fly? How can I learn Arabic? How can I learn Russian? Please don't be offended, but that's a stupid question. Ask a question that can be answered without writing a book, right? You ask me, how can I improve my English? They write books about that. I can't answer a question if somebody wrote a book about it, all right? Ask me something like, how can I improve my accent? Or how can I improve my vocabulary? That's a specific question that I can give you a specific answer for, okay? Okay? No offense, but don't ask questions like, how can I learn English? That's too big. Come on, go buy a book. I speak Chinese, Victoria, and I know a lot about many other languages. I'm sorry, I know a little bit about a lot of other languages, right? So I know a little bit about Spanish, French, German, Italian, Latin, Russian, Japanese, Slovak, a bunch of different ones. Kun, I don't know that they do. Kun, here's what I'll tell you. First of all, your question about whether people speak Chinese with a Hong Kong or Taiwan accent nowadays, I don't know if that's true, one. Two, if it is true, it's probably very simple because the pronunciation of the Southern Chinese accent or the Taiwan accent is, I think, a lot easier for Americans, at least, to learn compared to the Beijing accent. Okay, the Beijing accent is a lot more difficult to get properly, but I think that the mouth movements in the Southern Chinese accent are not quite as difficult to learn to pronounce for Americans, okay? And Jason, I have mastered no languages. I have mastered no languages because you can't master a language any more than you can master a music. Can you master rock and roll? Can you master classical music? Can you master jazz? No, you're always working on it. You're always going to be working on it and always trying to improve. So I'm still working on English and I'm working on Chinese, and I would like to learn a little bit about many other languages. Okay? I don't know any Turkish except for merhaba. You know, and a couple of words that are, cross-cultural between Arabic, right? So like things like assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum assalam and shukran, afwan, things like that, right? Yo soy Mark, mucho gusto, encantada. Do I speak Russian? Привет. Что? Да, нет. До свидания. I can say a few words in Russian. Do I understand the Scottish accent? Most of the time, but not all the time. I did meet a guy from Scotland when I was on my vacation, and even I had a hard time understanding him. Do you need to be careful using grammar when speaking English? No, not really. Yes, this is my podcast. How can you learn English properly? Sonny, get a good book. That's what I would start with, is a good book, right? I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello, Ron. Good to see you again, my friend. What's the difference between assume and presume? Okay, let me think about that for just a second, and let me do one thing. Let me look up something. Assume. Versus presume. I'm looking at the roots to see which roots are related. Presume, meaning pre, meaning before, and to take, obtain, or buy. Now let me check one other thing. So I looked it up, and it says that there's really only one slight difference between assume and presume. They both have a similar meaning, that there's a degree of confidence that there's evidence that supports the action that you're doing, or the thing you want to do, right? Or the thing you believe, okay? But to assume is to say, when you have almost no evidence, you don't have any evidence at all or very little evidence, you assume things, okay? Presume is when you do have reasonable evidence that something happened, okay? So if you have some evidence something happened, then you presume it happened. If you have no evidence that something happened, you're assuming something happened, okay? Rose, it depends on what classes you want to take. Send me a private message and we'll talk about it. So I guess Chinese can speak American accent better than Southern. I would say maybe, Sheldon. That could be in reverse. You're right. It's possible that because Americans can learn the Southern Chinese accent more easily, I think, that also could be true, that Southern Chinese people could also possibly learn the American accent more easily. That might be reciprocal. How to say a person has dark or light skin without being offensive? Is it wrong to say black? No, it's not wrong to say black if a person is black. You know, none of my black friends get mad if I say they're black. They are black. But there are many people with many different tones of skin, right? You know, if you're from Bangladesh, you have one tone of skin, right? If you're from maybe Vietnam, you have a different tone of skin. If you're from Korea, you have a very different tone of skin, right? If you're from Argentina, you have a different tone of skin maybe. Or Mexico, right? It depends. Or maybe not, right? Like there are some people from Spain who look just like me, right? So it just depends. I don't know any Indonesian, sorry. I don't know any Burmese. Persian is the easiest language in the world? Well, I find that hard to believe. Can I say hello in Persian? If I remember right, it's just salam. Right? I think you say salam for hello in Persian. Can I tell you about the etymology of Gulf and Bay? Sure. Gulf comes from the Greek word kolpos, which just means bay or gulf, right? So Gulf comes from the Greek word. First, it came from Italian, golfo. Then it came from Latin, kolphos. And then it came from Greek, kolpos. So first it was kolpos with a K, K-O-L-P-O-S. Then it was kolphos with a C, C-O-L-F-O-S. Then it was golfo, G-O-L-F-O. O, and now it's Gulf, Gulf. So that's Gulf, and Bay comes from the Latin word baia, which also just means bay. It means a recessed shore or of sea or lake. Yeah. So both of those words actually come from the old word that means the same thing. Can you ask why I think like that? Like why I think like what? You mean like about music and why I'm disappointed and disillusioned? I don't know, Mona. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just cynical. I feel like art isn't being as expressive as it could be. Art should have an effect on the world. And if it's not, then there's something wrong. And I feel like music is not having the effect that it used to have on the world. So I feel like something's wrong there. Are there any suggestions about how to remember things better? Jason, remembering things is about tricking your brain to learn it in many, many different ways, right? So neurologists, if you ask a neurologist what's the best way to learn, they'll tell you overlearning is the best way to learn. Overlearning means that you study the same thing, but many, many different ways over and over. So you are constantly reviewing, but in a different way. So, for example, you could study biology, and you could read a Biology 101 book from this company, and then you could read a Biology 101 book from another company, completely different company. Maybe it's different, right? Or you could read a biology book and then watch a biology movie, right? And then you could listen to a biology lecture, and then you could do a biology exercise. The more layers you have, the more likely you will remember. Okay? Hello, Oren Beck. Again, I'm just trying to answer questions, whatever questions you have. American accent is easier to learn than British accent. I mean, I think it depends on the person. I think some people think that the American accent is easier to learn. Some people. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's right here. Do I know where Iran is on a map? Helen, I have thousands and thousands of Iranian followers. Yes, I know where Iran is on the map. Yeah. I have many, many, many followers in Tehran. Yeah, I have many, many, many followers all over Iran. Okay? I know about Gormasabsi because I have talked to so many Iranians. Okay? And yes, salam is Arabic, but I'm pretty sure it's the shortened way that they say it in Iran, right? And yes, sugar comes from the Arabic language too, right? Yeah. Can I explain the meaning of vis-a-vis? Vis-a-vis is French, which actually I think it might be Latin before that. Let me check. Comes from the French phrase, it means face to face, where vis means the visage. Visage means your face, your visage, V-I-S-A-G-E. So vis-a-vis, in this case, means face to face, right? So, yeah, when people use that term, sometimes they may not be using it correctly. I think that happens often. And yes, right. Yeah, many Persian words also predate Persian and come from Sanskrit. That's right. Huh? I'm not from Yugoslavia. Why do you think I'm from Yugoslavia? Can I imitate a British accent? I could, but it would just be a silly joke, right? Not real. How to cope with pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, man. Pressure makes diamonds. So the way to cope with pressure is to remember that pressure is a vehicle. Pressure is a method of evolution. Pressure is a method of evolution. Okay, so pressure makes you grow. And you need to grow to evolve. Okay? Hello, Joseph. Joseph, is that who I think it is? That's Giuseppe, isn't it? Don't ignore it, but definitely ask for help. But you should also just try to understand that pressure isn't entirely a bad thing. You need pressure in life. You just have to moderate your pressure. You just have to recognize when pressure is unhealthy. Yeah. Okay. Would anyone like to talk to me? Raise your hand if you want to talk to me. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss any comments over in here. F Smile, hello F Smile. Right. Yeah. If you watch The Simpsons, it's a good show. It has good cultural stuff to learn about America and Western life, but I don't know if it's great because you can't see their lips and their voices are a little funny, right? What are the remedies to handle pressure? It depends on the kind of pressure you're talking about, Mohsin. But I would say, one, whatever your pressure is, you better have a plan, right? When you say you have pressure, that means you have a problem. And a problem means you have you have a war to fight. And if you want to fight a war, you need a strategy. You need a plan. You need a battle plan, right? You need to understand what the enemy is and how you can attack it. If you don't have a plan, then you can't handle pressure. Okay? But other ways to handle pressure, exercise. Exercise is a good way to handle pressure. That's a good way to relieve stress. Okay? Music, another good way to relieve stress and handle pressure. Talking with people, talking with your friends, talking with your family, talking with somebody you trust, getting advice. That is a good way to handle pressure. Writing about it. Writing can be really heavy. Writing is weird. Sometimes when we write, things come out that would never have come out if we were speaking. Writing is a weird thing. Your brain works differently when you write. So sometimes different stuff comes out. So there are many ways to handle pressure. Yoga, another good one. Sports, meditation, another good one. Drawing, journaling, therapy. Beatrice, those are all excellent suggestions. What should you do with 10,000 phrasal verbs in English? Should you memorize or just learn the one by listening to natives? I think you should choose the most popular and most common phrasal verbs and start with those, okay? go to this website. And there's some phrasal verbs. 200 phrasal verbs there. Okay? Okay. I'm drinking iced coffee. Any recommendations on building architecture in the U.S.? No idea. No. Why do Americans' glass is big for drinking? Kareem, I have a big glass because I drink a lot. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of whatever I'm drinking, I drink a lot of. And so I like a big glass so I'm not having to get up and refill it all the time. That's all. Yeah. And I'm drinking iced coffee, although it's not iced anymore. All right. Who wants to talk to me? Nobody wants to talk to me? Nobody wants to raise their hand and come talk to me? Raise your hand. I will talk to you. Do you have a question about your grammar? Do you have a question about your vocabulary? Do you have a question about your pronunciation? Do you have a question about your your reading, writing, listening, speaking, whatever? Okay, let's see. Let's start with Anna. Hello, Anna. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
And you're,
Actually, I'm from India.
yeah, I noticed you said your native language is Indian or Hindi, right? Is it Hindi?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes,
where
yes, my native
are you?
language in Hindi.
Are you from Delhi or where are you from? Kerala?
Uh, I'm central part of India.
Central part of India.
MP.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So what can I do for you today, Anna? How can I help you? Do you have any questions or something I can help you with?
I want to talk to with you because I have some pronunciation problems.
Okay.
So that's why I wanna advice for you.
Okay. Well, tell me what your pronunciation problem is first. Do you know?
Few words they are very different in English, so sometimes I can't pronounce it like a native English speakers.
Okay. Okay. So if you have trouble with your accent, let's talk about accents and pronunciation for a minute first. So some people, they think that accent and pronunciation need to be perfect, but they don't. Okay?
Yes.
I really don't care what accent you have. And as a matter of fact, when you learn English, English might be a unique language. At least American English is a unique language in this way, because I feel that American English has no official accent, right? So if you come to America, there are many American accents. Mine is one, right? But if you go to New York City, they don't speak like me. If you go to California, they don't speak like me. If you go to Texas, they don't speak like me. So there are many, many different accents here, right? So which one is the right one? Which one is the official one, right? And my grandmother came from Slovakia in Europe. She was born there, right? When she came to America, she had a bit of an accent. Does that mean it's not an American accent? No, I think it's still an American accent. It's just a Slovak American accent. Because America is a land of people from everywhere, right? So every accent is an American accent. That's number one. Number two is, what is an accent? What is an accent? Why do we have accents? If you learn a new language, what is this thing that you call an accent? What is it? It's your mouth movements. Okay, so when you have an accent, if you're speaking English but you still sound like you're from India, the reason why is because you're using the mouth movements from Hindi, but you're using English vocabulary, right? So your mouth is using English vocabulary words to speak, but the mouth movements you make are still closer to Indian language mouth movements, which are different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's actually a rare brain disorder called foreign accent syndrome. Okay, if there's a story about a woman who fell down. She was from England. She fell down one day and she hit her head. And when she woke up that day, she had an accent of she sounded like she was a Chinese woman. She had never been to China. She didn't know Chinese. She didn't speak any Chinese. She didn't know anything about the Chinese language. But she hit her head, and all of a sudden, her English sounded different. It's because there was a little brain damage in her brain that controlled her mouth, her jaw movements, her mouth movements. And because this brain damage affected her mouth movements, it gave her an accent. So that proves that your mouth movements are the reason why you sound the way you do. So that means you have to analyze your mouth movements to figure out how every language has different mouth movements, right? So for example, Hindi and Tamil and some of the languages in that neighborhood, also Asia, most of the languages in Asia use a very small mouth when you pronounce them, okay? For example, almost all my Chinese students, I tell them that if you're speaking English, you need to use a much bigger mouth when you open your mouth to pronounce words. And it'll sound better if you do. And I have to do the same thing when I speak Chinese. I have to use a smaller mouth or it sounds weird. If I use a big mouth when I speak Chinese, it sounds weird. So Hindi is the same. I don't speak Hindi, but I do listen to it. And when I hear it, there's something I know about it. So I studied a little bit of Hindi music, Indian music, Carnatic music a long time ago. And I learned the tala, right? Takadimi, takadimi, takada, takadata, right? I learned all that stuff. And one thing about Indian language is it has a very fast rhythm. The rhythm of the language is very, very, very fast, right? Okay. And then when you combine that with the small mouth, that's why when you speak English, you still have an Indian accent because your mouth is small and you're still kind of using these quick Indian mouth movements instead of long English mouth movements. So here's what I want to do. Anna, I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to write on the top of the piece of paper, I want you to write 5 words that are difficult for you to say in English. Okay, 5 words at the top, along the top of the page. Then I want you to look at those words and I want you to think about why is this word difficult for me to say? Is it the TH sound? Is it the V sound? Is it the R sound? What sound is it that's difficult in this word? What, right? Then you have to do a little research and go online and find all the words that have a similar sound, right? If you just type in a search and say all the words that sound like, violin, or all the words that are V sound words, right? You'll get a list of words, right? Then I want you to write those words down underneath. So when you're finished, you'll have one piece of paper and on the top will be 5 words. And underneath those words, you'll have columns that you'll write with other words that are also difficult for you to say. When you're finished, you'll have a piece of paper that has a whole list of words that are difficult for you to say well. This is what I call your target accent improvement list. Carry this list with you everywhere. Make a note on your phone. Look at it every day and try to practice those words every day. Okay?
Yes.
And then there's one other thing that's important about language learning and pronunciation. Language is about mouth movements, right? We said it's about muscle movements. Muscle movements... Yes. If you want to learn a muscle movement, there's a certain way that you can do it that will be easier for your brain so you can learn faster, okay? Here's the secret of learning any new muscle movement. So if you want to learn baseball, this works. If you want to learn drums, this works. If you want to learn running, this works. The secret is you have to exaggerate all the movements when you're learning, okay? So here's what happens. If you're learning something, like, for example, I teach drums. And sometimes when my students come in and they play drums, they say, Teacher Mark, it's really hard. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But it's because they're moving so small. Their movements are very, very small. And the brain, if you're making a movement like this, your brain barely sees that movement. It's very hard for it to see because it's such a small movement. But this, your brain sees this movement. It goes, oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you want.
Yeah.
So the same thing is true when you learn anything new. Exaggerate the movements and make them bigger.
Okay.
And if you make your mouth movements bigger, in the beginning, it will feel very strange. It will feel very awkward and weird, and you'll think this is not right. But here's what happens. If you exaggerate the movement, your brain will learn it, and it will be very big and awkward in the beginning. And the more you do it, the more it will become smaller and smaller and smaller and more natural. So yes, in the beginning, you exaggerate the movements and you make them very big so your brain can learn it. But the more you practice it, those movements will naturally get smaller and faster. And they will still be clear, though, because you exaggerated them. Okay? So exaggerate your movements and figure out what your problem is. Again, like Hindi people, for example, the R sound. Hindi-speaking people, sorry.
Yes.
The R sound is often a big problem. So, for example, the word very, right? If I hear an Indian person say the word very, many times they say very, 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 right? They're using this almost like an Arabic R. It's like a flip L. Very, la, la, la. There's an la sound. Yeah, it's not a ra, ra, ra like the way we do it. It's a different sound, right? Uh-oh, what happened? Come on.
I think my network
No,
problem.
sorry, Anna. I lost you there for just a second. I'm back. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that,
said
everybody.
I think some network issue.
Yeah, it was my problem. Yeah, sorry. I'm okay now.
It's your problem. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
So the R
And,
sound.
I like you. Yeah, I like talk with you, and I notice, and you tell about everything in the pronounce. So I very careful understand everything, and I got it. Ki This is the problem. That is the reason because I am from Indian, and I my speaking in my native language in Hindi. So that is the reason. So I need is the communicate is the very high. And I can talk to very highly, so I think automatically my pronunciation will convert and like a English.
I have another trick for you. I have one more trick for you that works.
yeah.
This is a trick that
Yeah,
works for many people. If you're having trouble making your words sound more flowing, more fluid, I want you to try to think about singing them. Okay? So I want you to say the word communicate. Say the word communicate. Say this word for me. Communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
Now.
Yeah, communicate.
Good. Now, the way you said it, it sounds like that Hindi sound to me. I heard very sharp. Communicate. Very sharp, 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 sharp. Now I want you to sing it. Communicate.
Communicate.
Much better. Good. You pulled the words and you made them longer. So now they don't sound like communicate. Now they sound like communicate. You're pulling the words like a native does.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
And I catch it that because you can see me everything is the pronounce. I understand very well. And next time I will use this method. And maybe one day I will fix it everything in my communication.
Work on it. It takes practice. It takes practice. But remember, Anna, if I can understand you, then your English is fine. Okay? You don't need to sound like me. You just have to be clear, right? If someone is speaking and I can't understand, that's a problem, right? But if you have an accent, I don't care what accent you have. Okay? You can speak English perfectly with a Japanese accent, a French accent, a German accent, an Italian accent, a Spanish accent, a Chinese accent. I don't care what accent you have. You can speak English perfectly well. Okay? As long as it's clear. As long as it's clear.
Okay. Yeah, my noun is my BIP's time is limited. I am reached my BIP time, so automatically I can take out.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me your
You're
side.
welcome. Come back and see me again, Anna. Take care.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Bye-bye. Why is there a flag from the U.S.? Ray, many people, I feel like sometimes people choose the flag. It's like aspirational, like they want to go to America, so they choose the American flag, maybe. You know? But she's from India. She's from India. Or sometimes people just make a mistake when they're setting up their profile, you know? Okay. Money is everything. Am I in favor of this sentence? No, I'm not in favor of that sentence. Of course I'm not. Victoria, you can always go to my YouTube channel. Victoria, there's no time limit on my YouTube channel. If you're still there, Victoria, go to my YouTube channel, and there's no time limit. You're welcome, sophisticated. Okay, guys, it has been almost 2 hours, so it's about time for me to go, I think. But if you haven't followed me already, please follow me. Follow my YouTube here, and you can always go to my YouTube channel. If you have no time on Hello Talk, you can go to my YouTube channel. There's no time limit on my YouTube, okay? Every one of my live streams on Hello Talk is also on YouTube at the same time, right? So it's about 20 seconds delayed, but you can always go to my YouTube channel and watch from YouTube instead of Hello Talk if you want to, okay? But you can follow my Hello Talk profile, and I have about 74,000 followers on Hello Talk. Giuseppe, there he is. He's back. I recognize the picture. Joseph Giuseppe. Okay. Yes. Here is my link tree. Here is my website. You can go buy lessons from me on my website. And here is my YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? But there's no, they don't have any rules about that. There's no way to prove any of that kind of stuff, right? So we have what we call the honor system. The honor system means like nobody can stop you from using whatever flag you want, right? But you should choose the flag that's actually from your country, right? But, hey, everybody's different, right? My YouTube is right here. I'll give it to you one last time. There's my YouTube. Okay? I have been on Hello Talk for about 11 and a half years. I've been on Hello Talk for 11 and a half years. I've been streaming here since they started streaming. And I have about 74,000 followers. So follow me and come back and see me and bring me some more of your English questions. Flags are kind of a rule. I think there's a vague rule about that, but I don't think Hello Talk does much about it. The internet is not a safe place. Well, the world is not a safe place. The internet is representative of the world we live in. So, yeah. Do Americans love saying affirmation words? Some of them. Cheetah. America is a very big place. So it's not a very useful idea to think about all Americans like we're all the same. It's more like America is a group of countries, right? That's kind of what America is like. It's more like a group of countries. So if you're from the far northeast of the United States, you might not be at all like somebody from the far southwest. Okay, or you could be from the far northeast of the United States, and there could be a person next door to you who's completely different than you, right? So there is no one kind of American, just like there's no one kind of Chinese person. There's no one kind of Russian, right? Everybody's different. But do Americans love saying affirmation words? I think some of us do. I don't think a large number, but I think there's a minority that do. Okay? Okay, everybody, that's going to be it for me today. It's been almost 2 hours, so I'm going to go get some lunch and do some work. Work on my book. Can you say the far west side of your country? Sure, you can. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, the far west side, the far north, the far south, the far east. Yeah. That's where we originally got the term Far East. Right? They used to call Asia the Far East. Because it was. From here, it was the furthest east. Yeah. What's the difference between affirm and confirm? To affirm something, let me think about this. Wait a minute. Okay, so I would say that like many English words, sometimes these are interchangeable, and sometimes they're not quite the same. To affirm means to state something with confidence, right? Or to validate something with confidence, right? So I affirm that he's a good teacher, right? To confirm is to validate the truth of something. Or to give consent or approval for something. So I can confirm that he did ask to go to the bathroom. Right? So confirm means to say, I can say that that was true. Right? That did happen. Affirm is more like, let me think of a good way to say this. To show your support for something, right? To affirm your commitment to the business department, right? Or to affirm your commitment to the learning community, okay? But again, they're very similar, and there are times when those could be interchangeable, okay? I've never been to Egypt. No, I have not. Thank you, a lady. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to see you next time. I'll see you on Friday. And Clay, my co-host, should be back on Friday. Okay? Follow me, follow me, follow me. Come back and see me again. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you live in the world. Share, share, share. You know, I work hard. I'm trying to help a lot of people. You can help me too. How do you help me? Share. Tell some people. Okay? Chun Tian says, gangsters affirm each... I don't think I would use that word in that way, Chun Tian. I mean, you can. Remember, language is expressive, so it's improvisatory. You can improvise. You can change. You can make something new. You can create a new way to say something. But sometimes there's better ways to use your words and worse ways to use your words, right? So I don't think I would use the word affirm in relationship to gangsters. But I know what you mean. Okay, guys. Take care. I'll see you guys on Friday, okay? Bye-bye.